on.
Sir.
How is it?
Yes, sir.
So, four important topics I'll be discussing in this presentation. The first one is journal criteria. So, I think in the past two sessions, I have explained and demonstrated what are all basic criteria we need to check for a journal, just to check the legitimacy and its genuinity. Can anybody comment once again?
Can you repeat the question again, please, sir?
I'm I'm asking about how to check if journal is legit or not. I've added few points and I've demonstrated some. So I just want anyone to summarize how to identify a journal and its legit.
In a very informal way, I would just like to give it a try. First of all, proper authorization of the publicator or the publication itself, whether this publication is being authorized by some uh, relevant government authorities or by international bodies. Second, with checking with the DOI and ISSN and the numbers like that, then you have shown a website where we can go and check whether this is actually legit or not, or we could go to the publication itself and check how many things are they doing, what is their thing, and if and cross check with publications which are legit. And I think we can easily get the answer from doing these three methods, three or four.
Perfect. So I've missed few points so that I would like to cover in this session. So these are all basic things we need to check. The first one is checking whether the journal has valid international standard serial number or not. And the second thing is we need to check whether the journal supports allocation of digital object identifier and the content is registered with Crossref. Okay, so these three things we need to check initially. And third one is we have to check editorial board members, like the list of members they've added in the under the editorial board and their expertise as well. So that is third thing. And yeah, so you need to check what are their publishing and retraction policy, like how they're handling the manuscripts or the papers and how they are reviewing. So that is publishing policy. Retraction policy is nothing but if somebody reports about some paper or the research with some valid proof and documents, then that particular journal has to withdraw the paper from that journal. That is what we call as retraction policy. So you need to check these things. Then most of the reputed journals tend to have higher publication fee compared to fake journals or some other journals. So why do journals charge higher publication fee? Anybody have any answer for this?
I think the review process takes a lot of money. You have to pay the reviewers, which in a proper publication would be uh, properly legit and people, and they can charge much more fee, and also all the regulations that are in place with that regarding the administration and stuff. That's why.
Exactly. So reputed channels uh, they hire multiple people for processing a single manuscript. For example, 2 to 4 people or up to 5 people involved in handling a single manuscript. So once you submit your paper, one person will check plagiarism. One person one person will assign those papers to respective reviewers, two or more reviewers. Then they will review your paper. One person will send you the feedback. So with respect to feedback or editorial comment, you need to modify or revise your manuscript. And one more person will involved in like post acceptance. They'll be communicating with you and getting your copyright transfer. and article processing charge. Then that paper will move on to production phase, where two or more people involved in formatting your manuscript based on the journal template. They'll be interlinking your references. They'll be registering your content, that is production, and the final stage is publication, where a person in, uh, will be involved in registering the content with crossref, allocation of DOI, making it open access, or preparing your manuscript in the form of HTML for online publication, open access publications. So they need to pay all these people. In addition, they have to pay reviewers, and they have to pay cost for DOI membership annually. So everything covers within that publication fee. If you prefer, or if you go for open access publications, if you go for subscription based publication, then you don't have to pay any fees. They will collect those fees from readers. Am I clear with these points?
Yes, sir.
So, as a early career researcher, I recommend everyone to go for subscription based journals. Okay, so or else it will be difficult for us to afford higher publication fee. If you check publication fee of MDPI, it's almost around 1600 Swiss currency CHF. And if you go for LCB or open access journals, the publication fee, article processing charges usually ranges from 2000 USD to 3200 USD and more than that. So you can go for subscription based journals, not open access. And the next thing we need to check is official email addresses. Sometimes you may receive emails from journals stating that, like the call for papers announcement, stating that we are open for submissions, and the final date of the publication is so and so. So we invite you to submit your paper. In that case, you have to check whether you received email from official email addresses or standardized mails like Gmails, Yahoo.com, ProtonMail.com, and some other. Okay, usually fake journals do not they usually use this Gmails editor, so and so journal at gmail.com, yahoo.com, or any standardized emails. Fake journals, they used to use these kind of email addresses. And reputed journals, they used to send emails from their official emails. For example, if you are receiving email from xyz@lcba.com, that email is legit. And if you are receiving some other email from xyz@springer.com, that is legit. So you can come to a conclusion with the email address itself whether it's legit or not. I hope I'm clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the next thing is website based manuscript submission process. Usually, all the legit journals, like the genuine journals or reputed publishers, they they'll ask for your manuscript, and they will recommend you, or they will guide you to submit your manuscript through manuscript submission system. Like you have to go to the website of the journal, you have to create some account, you have to upload your manuscript there. So that is the standard way of receiving manuscript from any authors or any peoples. So this is what legit journals do. And fake journals, so they'll recommend both. Either you can submit like 70 to 80% of the fake journals, they tend to ask or request your manuscript through emails. They'll simply state that submit your manuscript to editor.xyz@gmail.com. We will publish your papers within one day or 2 days. Okay, so if you are receiving emails or if you encounter any journal where the submission process is to mail your manuscript to some Gmail or Yahoo.com or any standardized mail, then that is a fake journal. So don't go for those journals. Okay, so you have to keep this factor in mind. And the next thing is editorial flow that I've already explained. So editorial flow is a sequence or standardized process of handling manuscript from submission to publication. So this is very basic editorial flow. Submission, review, revision, APC, article processing charge, payment or no article processing charge, followed by publication. So these are all important factors you need to check for any journals before considering your paper for publications. I hope I'm clear with all these points.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And one more point I want to mention here. So if you enter some journal, apart from these factors, and you can consider this factor as a last point. So if you open any article, so you will encounter some dates or article record, article history. For example, the date when the author has submitted that paper to that particular journal and when they received their revised version of the manuscript and when article got accepted and when the article went online, like you'll be having 3 to 4 dates. Okay, received date, revised date, accepted date, and published date. Okay, so these things you can check. Okay, and the timeline, you can check the timeline as well. For example, if the received date is today, let's say 13th of April, and the revised date is 14th of April, and the publication date is 15th of April. So, what will you say? Like it's a legit journal or non-legit or fake journal? So let me repeat once again. If the received date, like the submission received date is April 13 and revised date is 14th of April and publication date is 15th of April. So what's your decision?
It's a fake one. It's not legit.
Yeah, correct. Because the time frame, from the time frame itself, you can come to a conclusion. Like they have published that particular paper within 2 days, where reviewing the entire paper within a day or two is not at all possible. So that's a strategy you need to check. And the next thing is predatory journal criteria. So how we identify a legit journal with these criteria? In the same way, we have certain criteria that we can use to identify fake or predatory journals. The first thing is scope includes non-biomedical subjects alongside biomedical topics. So in simple term, multidisciplinary journals usually, okay, where you'll find papers from all the domains, science, technical, medical, art, science, history, language, everything. So sometimes most like 40 to 50% of multidisciplinary journal seem fake and others are legit. So it depends on how they are handling the manuscript and how strong the editorial board is. Okay, so from the first point, if you, for example, if I encounter some engineering based journal, engineering or non-engineering based journal, so in that particular journal we can find all papers together, like science, technical, art, science, English, everything there. So the scope is like the scope is different for that particular journal, and sometimes you'll find papers in multiple languages in a single platform. So that IGCRT, which I've mentioned in the last session, the previous sessions, so there you'll find papers in multiple languages. Apart from English, you can find papers in Hindi language and other languages as well. So that is the first factor. And then website contains spelling or grammatical errors. So that is common. Images are distorted, fuzzy or unauthorized. So uh, you'll find very common images, like those images. You can find those images online and open source images, like using images without any providing any proper attribution to the sources. So that's third point. And mostly homepage language targets authors. So they will define or they will represent themselves in such a way that, so once you visit the journal page, if you read the journal summary itself, you'll get impressed. Oh wow, it's a good journal, so definitely we need to consider to this journal. So usually, if you check for any legit journals, they don't exaggerate themselves in terms of scientific impact, significance, and their metrics. Okay, so that things you can consider, and then promote index Copernicus value. So what is indexation? Journal indexation. Can anybody comment?
I don't know, sir.
How we are having Web of Science, Scopus, Google Scholar, those are all indexing databases. Okay, if any journal is indexed in any of this platform, so that is what we call journal indexation. So in the same way we have, you'll find one website called Index Copernicus, and its value called Index Copernicus value, ICI value. Most of the fake journals they used to promote, like they'll say that our ICI value is 60 or our ICI value is 100, 90. So with that number, like authors, they usually get impressed. Like how we used to mention like the impact factor of any journal. Okay, I'll explain this point later, like towards the end. Next point, let's move to next point, like lacks description of manuscript handling process. That is what I represented, publishing policy. So you won't be finding any information on how they handle their manuscripts, especially in terms of plagiarism checks, reviews, things, followed by publications. And the next point is all your papers. So manuscripts requested over emails. So they will request your manuscript to email itself. Okay. And the next point is they'll promise you for rapid publications. Like if you submit your paper by today, we will publish your paper by tomorrow. So like promising rapid publication or fast track publication. So and then no retraction policy. Like they don't care. Like if they publish any fake papers or stolen papers, if somebody reports, they won't respond because they are running a fake journal, right? So they don't care. So that's why you won't be finding any information on retraction policy. And the next point is absence of information on digital preservation of content. So these points you have to note very carefully. For example, these domains, website domains, hosting platform. So these are all technical things, right? So any issues can occur at any time. For example, if the server goes down for a day or two, so whatever articles they are published in that particular journal has to be in online so that everyone can access without any complications, right? So that's why most of the legit journals they used to digitally preserve their contents, the published articles through multiple repositories, like how we are having core repository. and how we are having uh, open archive, open AI, sorry, open OAI, and then we have other repositories such as clocks and logs. You can just note it down, you can search and refer it later. Okay, so usually all the legit journals, they usually used to preserve their published content through some repositories or their own secondary sites, so that they can make the content to presence online for prolonged period without any complications. Okay, and next point is journal retain copyright or fail to mention copyright for open access claims. In simple words, you won't find sufficient like proper information on these copyright terms. Like if you submit your paper to that journal, so uh, you won't know like whether you are the only one person to have that entire copyright, or as a publisher they are getting your copyright through copyright transfers. So, so once you search, once you read papers, once you encounter multiple journals, you will understand like what is copyright transfer, what is copyright transfer agreement, who retains copyright. So, as a author, what are all rights we have in terms of research papers or whatever papers we produce. So, so this is one factor, and the last thing is contact email address is non-professional and non-journal affiliated. So that is about explained. You'll be receiving emails from gmail.com or yahoo.com, most common and standardized mails. Sometimes you may receive emails. Let's say um, I'm running a fake journal. The journal name is A, and I'm creating email address in the name of journal B, and I'll be sending you a mail stating that we are from journal A. You can submit your paper to us, and we will publish. That is non-journal affiliated. So these are all main factors or important criteria that you can use to identify fake journals. I hope I'm clear with all these points. Anybody have any doubts? Any of these points?
Mentioned before.
I'm sorry.
Could you repeat the repositories you mentioned before?
Yeah. So one is logs, LOCKSS, and second one is clocks, CLOCKSS, and one more repository is core, CORE dot AC dot UK, core repository, and open access initiative, open OAI, open door is there, open DOAR, open door, and open air is there, open AIRE. So these are all repositories like where we can preserve our digital content online. Have you noted?
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Anyone have doubts?
No, sir.
Fine. So let's move to the next slide. So these are all platforms which you can use to identify genuine journals basically. So I recommend everyone to use Web of Science, Scopus, and Journal Citation Report. See, there are some criteria that a journal need to have, or the journal need to clear. So those are basic eligibility of a journal to get indexed in Scopus or Web of Science. For instance, let me say, if I have a journal, so I need to consistently publish all the issues and articles for at least 5 years with good standard, like good content standard, good review system, a proper editorial board, then only I'm eligible to apply for Web of Science. So after applying Web of Science, they do have separate members who will evaluate the journal, the review policy, the articles, and the time frame, like how I used to publish from date of submission to date of publications. They'll check all these things. They'll cross check everything. After that only they will index my journal in Web of Science. In the same way, Scopus also does. Okay, so getting a journal indexed in Web of Science and Scopus is very difficult. So, for example, if you are doing your PhD program, then definitely you have to go for Web of Science and Scopus based journals for your initial publication, or JCR based journals. Okay, so apart from this, new journals, let's say I started my journal in the last year 2024, and it has been only 1.5 years or 2 years. I'm consistently publishing articles, so there is no way to apply for Web of Science or Scopus indexation. So in this case, we have directory of open access journal. That's also indexing site. It's a kind of recognition for early journals. So we have to apply for directory of open access journal with all the information, editorial board members, the number of articles published, journal information, editor-in-chief information, everything. So these are all works of publish. I'm just explaining you. If I apply for directory of open access journal, then they have some peoples who will do cross check. They will verify everything. If my journal is legit, definitely they will index my journal in directory of open access. So my point is, if you find difficult to get your paper published in Web of Science and Scopus or JCR based journals right now, then so you can prefer directory of open access journal platform to identify second reference journals for your publications. Let me show you. So this is Web of Science. I hope you guys can see my screen, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So this is Web of Science. So you will find most of the legit journals, like journals recommended for a PhD program or other research program. So just you have to type and search the name of the journal, you will get entire information. See, progress in aerospace sciences from Elsevier. If you click this view profile page, you will get entire information. Journal website, when they publish their first issue, how many issues per year, primary language. So from this option itself, you can visit their official site, the frequency, country, Web of Science coverage, from when. Okay, so this is Web of Science platform to identify top level journals. That directory of open access, this is the DOAG platform. For example, if you want to look for astrophysics related journals, then just type the keyword. Just type and search with the keyword. 1 second. More than 21K journals are indexed in directory of open access. You can see all the journals here, and you have options like whether you want to go for open access without fee or open access with fee. If you click this, so these are all journals, so where they don't charge any fee for publications. Let's check this one. Journal of Strategic Trade Control, ISS number is given here. So from this site you can enter into official site of that particular journal. Here you have option to check the ISS number with ISSN portal. So this is Journal of Strategic Trade Control. So it's volume 3 2025. So it has been only 3 years and they have been they're continuously publishing their papers. So my my recommendation is go for Web of Science or Scopus publication. So that is my first recommendation. The second one is you can go for Directory of Open Access Journals. I hope I'm clear with this point. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. I understood.
And
Yes, sir.
yeah, one more site that is Balls List. So this site was developed by I think Jeffrey Ball. You can use this site to cross check whether your journal is fake or not. Let me show you some other journal. Journal name is Journal of Emerging Technologies and Innovative Research. So my conclude from this info, like I've already gone through this journal. So based on my analysis, I can come to a conclusion that it's a fake journal. So just copy paste the title of the journal, go to this ball like this database. So we have that journal in this list, International Journal of Emerging Technologies and Innovative Research. So if you click this, you will be redirected to the official site. So this is how you can check for fake journals. So if you want, you can just note it down. Here we have a number of options to check. Hijacked journals, misleading metrics, how to recognize predatory journals, spam prevention, spam prevention, or this is press. Here, if you click this, you will find the list of publishers. Publishers means they are operating more than two journals. It may be 10, 100, 150. So they are all publishers, global publishers. You can see the list is increasing every year. You have to be very careful before submitting a paper to any journal. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now here we have journal impact factor. I hope somebody may know, or um, it may be new for few peoples. If anybody knows, then can you comment on this topic, journal impact factor? What is journal impact factor, and how to how to find it, how to calculate?
It is on the screen, so you put it on, but otherwise I have no idea about this.
It's already there in the screen. So it's simple. So impact factor. So what does it mean? Impact. What is impact?
How much value it is adding to the journal community?
The value and how the journal is influencing current or upcoming research. So that is what we call as impact. And publishers, they have term this as journal impact factor. The calculation formula is very simple. You can see this from the screen itself. For example, if I want to find impact factor of any journal for year 2017, then I have to divide the total number of citations received in 2017 divided by total number of papers published in last two preceding years, that is 2016 and 2015. So that will give you impact factor of any journal. So the highest impact factor ever recorded is 41.577 in 2017. So the journal is Nature itself. So this information is taken from Wikipedia. So you can use this formula to identify impact factor of any journal. If you want to cross check or revalidate the impact factor mentioned in any journal, you can use these formulas. Okay, and the next thing is uh, websites to calculate impact factors, that is SJR. You can use this site to check the impact factor of any journal, like especially Scopus Q1 to Q4 and Web of Science journals. You can use this site. And next thing is site score. Impact factor is different and site score is different. Okay, so the formula required to calculate site score is, for example, if I want to calculate site score of any journal for the year 2015, then I have to divide total number of citations received in the present year divided by total number of papers, documents or articles published in last three preceding years. So for impact factor we are considering two preceding years, and for site score we are considering three preceding years. So these will give you the site score. So usually professionals, experts, they refer impact factor before submitting their paper to any journal. So site score is just to give you a real-time updates on the citations as well as the total number of documents they are published. So this is just for information. So you have to keep the impact factor itself in mind. Okay. And the next point is Scopus.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, could you tell like why the impact factor is important?
Yes, definitely. So let me give you one example. Let's say I'm running a journal, some journal A. I'm publishing papers. Let's say I'm publishing more papers like 100, 150 and 200. What if within this year, if I don't get any citation? So I hope you know what is meant by citation.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so what if I don't receive any citation for all the 100 or 150 papers for this year and next year. So what will you conclude? So, or what will you say?
That the papers published in these journals either lack quality or are of not to the standard, or people do not trust the papers published in this journal.
So if I don't receive citation on any paper for any given year or upcoming year, then my paper has no value, right? I hope you are getting my point.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, in the
Yes,
same
sir.
way,
I got it.
um, it's not mandatory for all the papers to receive citation, but the total number of citation received by any number of papers for any given year, um, so that reflects the quality or the significance of the research or the papers of what they are publishing. Okay, that's why impact factor is important. Okay, so it usually ranges from 0.1 or 0.1 to 5 or up to 7 or 6 maximum. So if you encounter any journals with the impact factor of 5 or more, so definitely it's a good journal. Okay, new journals it may take time to receive more citations as well as to increase their impact factor, but definitely you have to consider this uh, factor in mind before considering any journals for publications. So if you publish paper in good impact factor journal, then you'll be having good recognition, visibility, and there are high chances like your paper, what to say, your paper get um, outreach to the entire scientific community. Like thousands of readers will read, thousands of readers will cite, so that will give rise to your own citation count, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's why impact factor is important. I hope I'm clear. I've answered your question.
Yes, sir. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sir, can I have
Yes.
some doubt?
Yes.
So yeah, so everything like depends on the citations we use, and like also you use the example where like nature had an impact factor of like around 42%, right? So let's say like in our case, we have like all the like related to astronomy or something or aerospace. So let's say for example, let's take a word aerospace for itself. So like the number of citations related to this aerospace will be an important factor, or will it be like if I do something related to some aircraft, or let's say some anomalies in some spacecrafts or something,
Okay.
depending on that, or overall it will impact it.
See, actually, I'm not getting your question. Like,
Okay, so let me just frame it again. I'm sorry. So let's say uh, like our field is related to aerospace and everything, and let's say I'm making a journal on some anomalies in some spacecraft or something, and if I use citations related to the aerospace or aircrafts, so like how it will affect the credibility of my paper or something. Like, can you just explain it?
so let me reframe your question. So what you are asking is, your domain is entirely related to aerospace and all, right? And if you do publications of a paper in some other journal like the aircraft and all, so how
Uh,
will
no, sir. Like I meant like this topic was from the drive link only. So I just gave an example of that thing. Like, okay, let's take the aerospace itself. So if we use the citations from this aerospace itself, so how will uh, Not like, I mean, the words or something like that, sir. Like, I'll do one thing. I'll just get back to you after the meeting. That would be better, maybe.
All right, fine. So next thing I wanted to discuss is Scopus Quartile Journal series. Usually we know what are Scopus journals. So among Scopus journal, there are some top level journals. So top 25% of Scopus journal comes under Scopus Q1 category. That is top level journal, uh, standard 1, and top 50% of Scopus journals comes under Q2, top 75 comes under Q3, top 100% comes under Q4. The rest of the journals are just Scopus, not Q1, Q2, Q3 or Q4. So usually PhD scholars from institutions or people doing postdocs, they usually prefer Scopus Q1 journal for their thesis publication, because that will give you more credibility compared to other journals. Okay, so this Q1 to Q4 is determined by Scopus and their calculation methodology, so which we don't know. Uh, yeah, so of course Q1 itself states that like how like you can imagine the quality of content in the Scopus platform. So yeah, so that is what we call a Scopus Q1 to Q4. So as a yearly career researcher, you can go for any Scopus journals initially. So once you enhance or improvise your writing standard or doing research standard, then you can go for Q4 followed by Q3, Q2, and then Q1. Okay, so these are all called Scopus quartile journals, Q series. And yeah, now I would like to comment more like few points about research profiling, like how to create profile and what's the importance. So first one is Google Scholar profile. Next we have ResearchGate, Web of Science, Scopus. So four profiles I wanted to discuss. So the simple research profile is Google Scholar, right? So if you do a single publication, so that publication will appear in this profile, and from this profile, like everyone can track your total number of citations and the year of publication when you publish your first paper, and so what's your consistency, whether you are publishing papers continuously or not. So let me show you with some example. So it will help peers. For example, if you apply for research associate position or any other researcher position, if you are providing a Google Scholar profile link, so from your profile itself, they will know your research background, how you are performing. Let me show you my profile itself. I hope you guys can see my screen, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So this is my Google Scholar profile. So here every information is given here, and my area of interest and the total number of papers published here. So here all the papers are sorted in terms of citations. Whichever has more citation, that comes first. Um, so this is the list of papers which I have published, and if you click this one here, then you can see the total number of papers. The number of papers published recently, 2025, 2024. So from this slot, you can check the information on papers, publications, and all. And here we have options to see the citation metrics. Basically, you can see the total number of citations received by me is 324. From 2020, I have 370. My H index is 10. My top 10 index is 11. And yeah, so from this graph itself, you can see like I started my research career from 2018 only, and in that particular year, I received only one citation. The next year, I received three, and the next year, four, and next year 133, and now my the list of publication is getting decreased, therefore I'm receiving lesser number of citations in the subsequent years. 57, 36, 46, and 11, 41. Okay, and you can see the list of co-authors with whom I've written paper, collaborative papers. So I can comment on myself, like my research impact is decreasing nowadays because I'm not getting time to do research as well as publications. So that's why my research impact is getting decreased. So it's like exponential decay. Okay, so this profile you can create with your college email addresses or any official email address if you have. And the next thing is ResearchGate. Anybody have any ResearchGate account?
I've used it before, but I don't think I have any.
So I recommend everyone to open your ResearchGate account um, if you want to pursue your research career. Like it's a very good platform. You can connect with researchers. You can request articles directly through this platform. You don't have to write any formal emails to authors. And one more benefit you'll get is ResearchGate has now collaborated with multiple journals. For example, Springer Nature, Springer. Okay, so you can download all their papers, including recent papers, for free from this platform itself. All right, so ResearchGate also will give you the metrics such as research interest score, the total number of citation you received, or the total number of H index. And if you click this, you can see the total number of citations received over time. So just try to create an account here. Okay, and the next thing is Web of Science profile. So this profile you can create if and only if you have any Scopus or Web of Science related publications, and this is the best site to create impactful research profile. So that's my recommendation. So initially you can go for Google Scholar and ResearchGate, and the last one is Scopus profile. So Scopus profile, we can't create Scopus profile manually. Okay, if you have Scopus publications, at least one or two, the Scopus database itself will create a profile for you, and you will be having a number similar to this Scopus ID, Scopus profile ID. So let me show you. So Robert Zubrin, he is the founder of Mars Society. So since 1990s, he has done a number of publications on Mars exploration. So I'm just trying to look at his profile. So this is his Scopus ID, and see 490 citation he has received so far. So there are totally 93 documents, like 93 papers are indexed in Scopus. So once you log in, you can check all this information. So what's the impact, the total number of citations received by all the papers, preprints, co-authors list, awarded grants, every information. You'll find every information here. Okay, so this is what we call Scopus profile. Fine. So let me repeat. So initially you can go for Google Scholar, ResearchGate, then Web of Science and Scopus. And now I want to give you information on citation metrics analysis. I hope you guys would have seen this chart in the Google Scholar, right? Reflecting citations, H index, and top 10 index.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me give you a definition for I-10 index first. So I-10 is nothing but the list of papers which you have published that has received more than 10 or equal to 10 citations. For example, if I am publishing 5 papers, out of 5, 3 papers has received 10 or more than 10 citations, then my I-10 index is 3. Am I clear with this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I-10 is very simple. H index only you have to listen it carefully. So let me give you an example. Let's say I have published 5 papers, okay, in this year. So here you need to consider year. I have published 5 papers in 2025. Out of 5 papers, any 2 paper that receives equal citations. Let's say paper A receives 2 citation, paper B receives 2 citation. Then my H index will be 2. So this is case 1 I'm explaining. Let me give you another example. I'm publishing 10 papers in 2025. Out of 10, paper A receives 5 citation, paper B receives 5 citation, and paper C receives 5 citation. Then my H index will be 3. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is how usually H index indicates the productivity in terms of the number of papers and the number of citations. So if you want to pursue your career as a researcher, then definitely you need to focus more on this H index factor only. So I-10 is simple, like everyone will get I-10 index if they have 10 or more than 10 citation. But in the same year, if you publish a number of paper and if you receive a number of citation in the same year, that will reflect your productivity and significance. So that's why H index matters. So that's all for the day. Anybody have any question? Feel free to ask.